Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Darian Jones. I'm the Caregiver Education and Digital Specialist at Care Partners. Today, we have a very special guest for you. We have Kimberly Hegwood from Hegwood Law Group. She's an elder law attorney who's going to be telling us about the importance of executing a medical power of attorney and a statutory durable power of attorney. She's going to be sharing all about what these documents are and why you should have them. But first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Care Partners and who we are. So we are a nonprofit organization here in Houston and Waco. Our mission is to provide support, education, and resources to family caregivers and quality care to those living with memory issues and other challenges of aging. During this time of social distancing, we're still dedicated to bringing you educational and entertainment content, and that includes live videos, blog posts, and pre-recorded videos. So be sure to follow all of our social media websites. Be sure to check out our website, www.carepartnerstexas.org. And then our Facebook and YouTube will have all the live videos and other content. So today we have a very special guest, as I said. Kimberly Hegwood from Hegwood Law Group is going to be here. Hi, Kim. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
My name is Kim Hegwood. I'm with Hegwood Law Group. I am an elder law estate planning attorney here in Clear Lake. Our main office is in Clear Lake. We see clients all over the city. So we see clients in the Sugar Land, Galleria, out near Katy, basically, almost Katy, in the town and country area. And then we have an office in Bay City as well where we see clients. Today, I think it's really important, and I appreciate you having me because now more than ever, we tell clients it's so important to have an estate plan in place, but it's really, really important for you to have those power of attorneys in place. So I'm going to kind of walk you through those power of attorneys and why you have them. What we're finding with the coronavirus is that sometimes people are in ICU on ventilators for weeks at a time. So we want to make sure that your loved ones can handle the things that need to be taken care of if something happens and you are in the hospital for an extended period of time. So one of the things is your first thing that's really, really important is that medical power of attorney. Who's going to make medical decisions for you if you cannot? And so that document is hugely important. If you get sick and you can't make your own medical decisions, we want you to have somebody in place to do that. And so you want someone that can make the decisions that you would make if you were capable of making them. So in our office, we have, we normally ask for two agents, the first one and then the second one, because we don't want competing interest. And you want to make sure that the doctors and the healthcare providers have clear ideas on who that person's going to be and who's going to make that decision. You want to be very careful about who you do decide to make that decision. You want to make sure that if you don't want any heroic measures and things like that, that they're aware of that. And you also want to make sure that because the coronavirus, people are coming back from it. It's not necessarily going to hurt everybody. You want to make sure that they understand that there may be some life-sustaining measures that need to be in place specifically for this pandemic. And so it's hugely important that you do that, get those things in place. Your next power of attorney is your statutory durable power of attorney. That's your legal financial document. That's a document that's going to allow you to have someone pay your bills, make sure you're taken care of, deal with insurance for the hospital, things like that. All the things that you need to make sure that are covered if you're sick and unable to do that yourselves. These documents are very important. They prevent guardianships and court involvements, and so it's hugely, hugely important. And they don't take that much money to get set up, which is really, really a good thing as well. On your statutory durable power of attorney, normally when you sign that document, you're going to sign it saying, I want it either effective immediately or upon incapacity. Today, I would always recommend that you do it effective immediately, just in case. Most of our clients, depending on who their agents are, who's going to handle their finances if something happens to them, they trust them. There's somebody they know, love, and trust, and they know that they're going to not do anything bad with their money. There's going to be somebody that's good with their money, so they're going to be all the right people in place. Because if you say that your power of attorney is effective upon disability, That requires a doctor to put in writing that you're disabled or you're incapacitated and can't handle your own finances. And that may be a lot harder to do, especially now. Even when we don't have a crisis pending, it's sometimes very difficult to get doctors to put that kind of stuff in writing. So it's really important that you have these two documents and have them in place. And if you need help with those, please reach out to us. Most of my team is working remote, but we're still here to help, for whatever you need. We talk about not having these documents because if you become incapacitated, then you're in guardianship and you're in probate court. And it's very expensive to be standing in front of a probate judge asking to be appointed that person, to handle their money and things like that. And it's not a fast process either. And so it could take weeks to get things in place. And you may not have that kind of time depending on the decisions that need to be made. So it's really important that you put those documents in place. Cannot stress that enough. A lot of people don't realize that the people that the legal system says these are the people that can make decisions if you have nothing in place. So it may be that it's your spouse making those decisions. If it's your spouse and you no longer live together, you may not want them making those decisions for you. But it may be your parents, may fall next, and you may not want your parents to have to carry the burden of making those decisions. So your goal is to make sure that you put the people in place that know what you need, know how to make sure that you're taken care of, and understand the burden that they are faced with in having to make those decisions. So I hope that you reach out to us or another elder law attorney if you need help to make sure that you have these documents in place. Really, really can't stress enough how important they are as part of your estate planning. We tell clients all the time that planning for incapacity is what we do way more than planning for death, because the odds are you're going to be incapacitated, before death. And so, Darianne, do you have any more questions of me that came to mind when we were having this conversation?
Yeah, so I was actually wondering, what do people need in order to put one of these documents together? Is there anything that they need on their end to provide to you guys?
What we look for is the name on your driver's license, your address, the people that are going to be your agents. We want their name on their driver's license, address, and telephone numbers, and the ones that they're going to answer. Most people have cell phones these days, but sometimes people have house phones. So we'll put both on there if necessary. And it's really in the order in which you want them to appear. So if you have, you basically say, here's my first agent, here's my second agent, and here's all of their information. And that's really what all we require right now, in order to make those decisions. A lot of our healthcare providers, we're providing, free medical power of attorneys for them. And we're just asking that they send us their badge, showing that they're a healthcare provider, and then who they want as their agents on their medical power of attorney. And we're just trying to help as many people as we can right now, especially our healthcare providers, because they're on the front lines. They're doing everything they can to keep us safe. And it's just really, really tragic, what's happening today, going through, this pandemic that we're going through.
That's some great information. It looks like we do have a comment here. If someone reaches out to get one of these documents done, how quickly can either one be done by?
We've been doing the medical power of attorneys. We've been turning them around fairly quickly. We had a lag time initially, but we got one in this morning that we're trying to get right back out today. We're trying to get them out as quickly as possible. So if you need them, it may take a day, but we're trying to push those out as fast as possible so that you can have those in place.
And then you said that these documents help to avoid guardianship. Can you explain a little bit more about why someone would want to do that?
We normally see guardianship for people who are incapacitated and they're never going to get better. And so, but a lot of times, depending on the need to access finances, to pay for caregivers, to pay for the hospital, to pay hospital bills and things like that, sometimes you may need to reach out to the probate court, and ask for a guardianship. It's just expensive. I mean, you're talking, $3,500 on up. when power of attorneys are going to cost you $300 in my office. So it's one of those things where I always laugh and tell people, do the math. It's so much better to have good power of attorneys in place, because our power of attorneys are different than what you download and get from most traditional estate planning attorneys, because we plan for incapacity and we plan for so much more of the things that you may need. Our power of attorneys are very robust. They have a lot of extra things in there that are going to help clients today and down the road, because we want to make sure that we've covered every contingency, so that we've thought about all the things that could go wrong and what you may need and have those in place. And so for us, that's very important.
Exactly. And then we'll leave it with this. Or let me check our comments one more time. All right. Yeah. So we'll leave it with this. If you could give caregivers one advice during this time, or just in general, what advice would you give them?
Please take care of themselves. Hugely take care of themselves. I've never seen so many people to remind people to wash their hands, but we truly want them to take care of themselves. Make sure they get rest. Make sure that their families are taking care of them when they can, so that the stress is off, when you're at home. And if there's anything that you need from us, reach out. You can call us at 281-218-0880. We'll be more than happy to help you with whatever we can to make sure that you feel comfortable, that you're okay, and that if something does happen, that you're taken care of. And for us, with our clients, that's all that matters to us, is making sure that they're taken care of when they need it.
Well, thank you so much again for being here, Kim. We really appreciate you sharing this information. Their website is www.hegwoodlaw.com if you want to get in touch. Their phone number is also there. We really appreciate it. Thank you again, Kim.
Not a problem, Darian. I appreciate it as well. And you have a good day and stay safe.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks again so much. And thank you guys again for joining us for this Hot Topic Live segment. Care Partners is doing a few things during this social distancing time. We are offering Common Ground teleconferences twice a week, video conferences. You can get some more information about that on our website. You just call in and we have a facilitator there, and all the caregivers in the group will have the opportunity to share and just connect with other caregivers. We have lots of things happening and lots of things going on our website, so be sure to follow that. Later this afternoon, we'll be joined by the Care Partners Coordinator, Karen Pettit. She's going to be continuing her discussion on what kind of questions you can ask to have meaningful conversation with your loved ones with dementia. So that'll be at 12:30, so be sure to join us then. In the meantime, have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much.